scams, fraud, and even spam. Somebody's got to be taking care of that, but who? Someone is. Stay tuned. Hi everybody, and welcome to Fun to Know with Carol. If you're new here, I'm Carol Chenot, and I'm glad to have you joining our channel. One thing we like to do on this channel is talk with people who have very interesting jobs. And even though I live in California, many of my viewers are from all over the country and even international. So there will be lots of transferable concepts that you can take from today's interview. I want you to be on the lookout for those. My guest today is Ken Jorgensen, who is the Deputy District Attorney in San Luis Obispo County. Is that
Carol?
right? Did I get it right?
Yes, you did.
Okay. And what is your specialty?
Well, I concentrate on consumer protection cases, all kind of around the component of really focusing in on the consumer in our county as well as in our state. I think there's an analogy, though, to a citizenship, and that's the idea that both consumers and businesses, as people living within our state and our country, have to coexist with one another, and that coexistence sometimes gets marred by profit or shortcomings within policies and procedures that a business will have going on, and that's where our office steps in. We want to make sure that all of the businesses are playing fairly, that they're following all the laws, and that they're not taking an unfair advantage of any of the consumers in our state.
Oh, yeah, I can fully get behind that, absolutely.
And specifically with our office, we are that gap between a citizen or a consumer going out and hiring an attorney for maybe a small transaction. The point that really comes out is that when we go to, say, a supermarket and we check out an item, that item might be on sale, and the sticker will say, hey, this item's on sale. But then when you go to the checkout stand and you check that item out, the scanner rings it up differently. Mm-hmm. It charges an extra 10 cents. Well, it doesn't make sense for that consumer to go and hire an attorney, but it does make sense for a district attorney to grab the collective of all those mistakes that are being made, and to really enforce and make sure that the consumer is being protected even on the smallest of transactions. Because on the large scale of things, if that mistake is happening consistently, businesses can collect millions and millions of dollars unfairly.
Sure, yeah. Well, what piqued your interest to get into, I imagine you didn't go to law school for this particular specialty, right?
No, I didn't. In my background, I was formerly a city attorney for some cities, and just that idea of having rules and laws, and really, the foundations of democracy, making sure that people are allowed to go to work, go to school, and do those things in a lawful sort of organized system, and making sure that nobody really takes advantage of it. I really found a lot of joy in doing that and working for small cities, and then now doing it and representing the people of the state of California.
That's great. I think cities, counties need enthusiastic people like you taking care of these kinds of protections. So tell me how you spend the biggest part of your day.
A lot of it is just communicating with different parties or organizations, and so you're what you think of like a deputy district attorney. They're in court, they're arguing in front of a court and a judge. That doesn't happen with me for the most part, and so for the most part, I am meeting different community members, and then I'm analyzing materials that we obtain from businesses. It all culminates to this idea that either a business is practicing lawfully their business or unlawfully.
Has COVID had any impact on your office?
It has had a huge impact because we had the price gouging cases that came into play. One of the cases that we had was with Walmart. They had an issue with some of their sanitizing wipes. These sanitizing wipes for just a small little package was selling for $20 a piece.
Oh my goodness.
And in talking to them, we ended up forming a good partnership with Walmart. They were able to identify what had gone wrong. They had agreed not to do that again in the future, and they agreed to reimburse our office our costs and pay some civil penalties. And what's kind of neat is that our office was probably one of the first or second district attorney offices that actually achieved a settlement with a large-scale company during the price gouging issue.
That's notable to actually get a settlement
Definitely.
against a large company like Walmart.
Yes, it was definitely one of my favorite days, or culminating days of leading up and then finally getting a settlement.
Do other counties and states have the same kind of systems that we have here?
Yes, for the most part. So our office, we have one consumer protection attorney. Some of the bigger offices, they have a whole contingent of consumer protection attorneys. And so what is neat about that is that we all speak to one another. We all work together, especially with some of these large-scale companies. Having one attorney try to address a multi-international type of company just isn't going to work. We're going to get overworked, and so it's nice to have the resources of other consumer protection attorneys throughout the state to enforce our unfair competition laws.
Good, good. So the word consumer protection, if you are viewing from outside of California, that would be an office for you to look at if you feel you've been wronged by a business.
Correct.
So another thing that I know a lot of people are interested in, especially when we get those dumb car warranty, extended warranty types of calls, when does just garden variety spam actually become a scam?
I think the telltale sign, and by the way, I get a lot of those telephone calls asking about my car warranty, and we haven't been able to fix that problem yet. So I think when a spam turns into a scam is at that point when the person is asking a call to action from that other person. For instance, in our county, and I think statewide, we have an issue where we have a lot of unlicensed contractors that are trying to get consumers to hire them as their contractor. And so I think it's important that when that transition happens, when it's a spam kind of asking or letting, and somebody's asking to actually perform a service, that at that point it's good for the consumer to make sure that they are taking the right steps to make sure that they do not get scammed.
And a call to your office would tell them that?
Yes, a call to our office would be fantastic. Also, just as far as unlicensed contractors go, make sure that you ask them for their license number. And believe it or not, a lot of the unlicensed contractors, they will give you a license number, but that license number won't be their license. They will be their friend's license number. And so you want to make sure that the name that is on that license card is the actual person that you're speaking to.
So I understand you have someone in your office that is very much not an attorney. Is that true?
It is true. In fact, he's probably one of our most popular employees.
Oh, you mean the attorneys aren't the most popular employees?
No. When it comes to social media, or when it comes to when this employee is walking down the hallway, he will always attract a smile and a lot of, "Oh, Edgar." His name is Edgar.
Okay.
And people just fawn all over him.
Well, if Edgar is available, I would love to meet him.
Let's do it.
Well, my curiosity is definitely piqued, so let's go see where Edgar is. Hi.
He should not get up right now. That's
Okay,
the goal.
that's the goal. Okay, well, this is Edgar.
This is don't. He knows better. He knows
Good
better.
boy. Good boy.
So I'm happy to let him, get out of the command he's in right now if you'd like. But if he does, I'm going to have him. He would come over and want to say hi to you, obviously.
Okay.
And full disclosure, we keep a lot of these lint rollers around too, because obviously he will fur bomb you. So
Okay.
I'm happy to let him loose right now.
Yes,
And
that's
he will come
fine.
over and say hi. He's going to try and lick you too. I can guarantee that.
Okay,
So,
all
Edgar,
right.
release. Go say hi.
Edgar. Oh my goodness. Oh, and so tell me what Edgar's
Don't.
what Edgar's role is here.
So Edgar is our courthouse facility dog, which means that he works obviously here in the courthouse with us in Big Witness at the DA's office. And he's the distinction is he's a fully certified and trained service animal. So he could have been paired up with like an individual with a disability or need. But his skill set really is his ability to kind of interact with multiple different people through the course of a day, as opposed to being tied to one person, if that makes sense. So that skill set really works well for him in this environment, which is why he was placed with us here in the victim witness assistance team. So what that means is he can work with victims in the morning, supporting them as they go through some type of the court process, and then later in the same day be working with someone else to support them. Now, we are cautious about not overloading him on his workload and things like that, but I mean, he really does have the ability to just walk into a room and have the effect he's having on you right now, which is a big smile, right?
Yeah,
He can de-stress the folks in a room, and we use him to work primarily with our most vulnerable victims, so our children victims, and adults with disabilities, sexual assault victims, domestic violence victims, and the like. So
Wow.
he's been with us about 1.5 years, and Ken's probably the president of his fan club. He's a big hit here now. So
I bet.
He does bring a whole new thing to the office.
A whole different energy.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's Edgar. He's 4 years, just over 4 years old. He's yellow lab, like he looks like, but he's also got some golden retriever in him.
Okay.
And I'm trying to think what else. So obviously, Canine Companions is where we got him from, and it's just been a great addition.
Show
to the
me your
office.
label, Edgar.
Yeah, that's.
There we go.
They're a wonder, man. You want to do a story on Canine Companions? They're just a marvelous organization.
Okay.
Yeah.
A huge shout out to Ken and Tim and of course Edgar. To see my very first video on interesting jobs, click on this video right here. Have a great week ahead.